the ambit within which to operate.
Hold on.
That's what they have.
Hold on. Is there a portion of the Constitution that
Yeah.
says that any law or bill or order or resolution that goes contrary to the Constitution is considered null and void?
Of course.
Section 1, subsection 3.
Absolutely.
Every other thing that is against the Constitution is void to the extent of that inconsistency.
Mr. President. If I were him, I would first sign the bill.
No.
And if I'm not comfortable with it, I will now subject it to judicial interpretation. He can go to court and say, look,
that is a contradiction. That is a contradiction. That is a
contradiction of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I want the court to give their pronouncement on it. And then they would have given their pronouncement, and then the president would have a good outcome. The issue is the National Assembly people are they are the bosses of Mr. President. And whatever they say is binding on him.
Sir, do you know what I just said? You are saying that the man should contradict himself. The man is aware that there's a constitutional contradiction, and you are saying he should first sign. He should sign away his freedom.
I have said there's no constitutional contradiction at all. What you have in Section 67 says may. And the new bill is saying shall. There's a difference.
Are you aware of the right of the constitutional provision in fundamental human rights to freedom of thought?
This has nothing to do with freedom of thought.
To freedom of expression.
Are preaching that. They are merely giving additional list additional work to Mr. President.
No.
That is what they're simply doing.
What they have to do is pass laws for the good governance and order of the country.
So in what way is this new bill in violent conflict with good governance? I would think it is helping to advance good governance.
The language of compelling the president. And I thought politics was about persuasion. About lobby.
Of course, it should be.
Why don't you seek to persuade the president? Why should come regularly? Look
but
can we take an example?
You and I do know. You and I do know.
Can we take an example?
Working is not an exciting thing.
Wait.
Most time people have to be compelled to do certain things.
Can we take a practical example, please? Regularly, some of the governors in this country, I do not want to zero in on Fashola. Regularly, he addresses.
Let me ask you one question.
Please, let me
one issue which Mr. Igbe has raised, the moderator, which is very, very important. He said that bill was passed in 2004, and the president then refused to accept.
Was introduced
in 2004.
Was passed in 2010.
And it was 2010. But the Mr. President at that period in time refused to assent to it.
Yes.
Why did he refuse to assent to it?
Because it
and then this president is trying to refuse to assent to it. You also remember that when the Freedom of Information Bill was first passed by Obasanjo, Obasanjo refused to assent to it.
Yes.
That bill again passed and then before Jonathan assented to. Why is it that they always shy with certain bills that compel them to do certain
things? Can we concentrate on something, please?
We are ready.
You have said that the introduced bill contradicts the Constitution.
Like I don't say it contradicts the Constitution.
That, and he asked, the moderator asked, whether there was a provision in the Constitution that says if there's an inconsistency with the Constitution, what happens to that letter provision? And we say that the letter provision is void to the extent of its inconsistency. Now here is the president of the country who is saying, look, what you are asking me to sign is like you are asking me to commit suicide. You are asking me to sign away. So. Wait, please. You are asking me to sign away my discretion. If I don't want to address you, why will you compel me to address you? You look at what things I have done. I don't
know whether you have been in paid employment before.
Yes, I have been in paid employment.
Okay. Yes. When you are in paid employment, when you give your letter of contract of employment, is your job schedule not usually specified in the job?
Yes, it is.
Your letter of appointment.
Yes.
So what is wrong with the National Assembly adding additional responsibility to Mr. President to carry out?
That's what the the ones that gave him a letter of employment?
Thank you.
No, not additional responsibility for him.
But it's in violation
of course. I have cited part 2. Section 4.2 of the Constitution of Federal Republic that says the National Assembly have power to make laws for good governance.
Good governance.
Okay, so that is what they are doing.
Hello, can I ask another question?
So the government, they're to make laws for good governance of the country. Does it include
of the nation?
Reducing the powers of discretion of the president?
That is it. That is just the question.
Hello. It does not in any way reduce it.
What is this talk? I am just wondering.
No, but hold on. What's wrong with the president assenting to the bill?
Look, it's saying, I don't like the language.
What is wrong with it? Is it the language that is the problem?
Yes, look, you're asking me.
Not the workability. Not the workability.
Hello. He's not quarreling with the workability or the good nature of the bill itself.
He's saying,
but the
you cannot compel me. That is it. That after all, there's the doctrine of separation of powers.
Yeah.
It's like you are telling a judge that there's a case in your court, you must not do this within the.
No, those are two different.
No, they are not two different things. Please. Like you are telling a judge, these are the cases you can undo, and these are the cases you cannot undo. It's like the special. No, they are not exactly different. So what we are saying is that the man has looked at the constitutional provision as they are now.
I have also looked at it.
No.
And I have seen
And
all
the
the different complaints
and the addition is
as,
introducing.
He's introducing to this bill and all that. And I say most of his complaints are neither here nor there.
No.
It's just an excuse to shy away from
Certainly not. Certainly not. It did not only keep quiet. He sent a letter. He sent a letter.
I have read his 10 letters and I've
and the
also read
letter
the
was just read when we came in.
I have also read
after
the letter.
our introduction.
And I've read the constitutional provision that
Please,
Mr.
please,
President
can you help us?
This bill is in
Repeat
violent conflict.
one or two things that he complained about.
What? He says that the bill is in conflict with Section 67 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is one. He also said that the language of the bill was not polite enough. That is does not mean
So,
it's not parliamentary.
What do you think should do the next thing?
He also said that the law also said the National Assembly has the power to regulate the procedures of this bill instead of using the word act. And I said these are mere semantics.
No, they're not semantics.
They
are not semantics.
They are not semantics.
No, there's a difference between an
What
act
do you mean by
and a
separation
bill.
of power? In what way does asking the president to come and address the nation in the state of the nation address
Please,
breaching the
may I
separation
think
of
aloud
powers?
and ask you a question?
I'm ready to hear
How
you.
about asking the president
Yeah.
to build refineries and compelling him?
Absolutely, there's nothing wrong
How
with
about asking the president to provide air?
Issues of building refineries and not building refineries will also arise when Mr. President
Okay,
delivers the state
please,
of
can
the
I
nation
ask another
address.
innocent question, please?
Fine.
This compulsion, as it were, this compelling law, which is still being proposed, not a law yet, it's not an act.
I have said
Wait
we
a
should
minute.
take note of one thing.
Wait, please.
Our historical antecedent as a nation.
I'm only trying to
Why
ask you a
is it
question.
that most people in the executive arm of government,
Remember, I have not been there.
and the governors,
Wait.
who always
I have
want to
not
shy
been
away
a
from their
president. No, wait.
responsibility? Why is it that they don't want to be accountable to their people? Why is it that they hate to talk to their people each time they have been asked to do so?
Hello?
That is the issue we should
You
be
are
addressing.
refusing to acknowledge the fact that the gentleman has addressed this nation a number of times.
How many
the number
times?
is insignificant.
During the
But I
when
am
he was
trying
going
ask you,
to,
please,
when he addressed us on the Boko Haram issue.
Please, can we
He also addresses us when he's presenting
can we
his
put it in
budget.
perspective, please? I beg you.
Yeah,
This
that is what we should be doing.
this bill that is being introduced, how does it benefit Nigerians as against a bill that
The
let me
bill
land, please.
is asking
Let me land,
it's time to create a
let
benchmark
me
for
land.
Mr. President.
How about a bill?
The bill intends to create a
gentlemen,
benchmark for Mr. President performance in
Before you land, we'll just need to take a quick break. And as we go on break, there's a school of thought that believes that the State of the Nation address, a State of the Nation address is an outward expression of the discontent of the lawmakers over the president's penchant. That's what they say for treating the resolutions and bills passed by them with what they say is disdain. That's a school of thought. But other countries use the State of the Nation address to advance good governance and well-being of their people. Anyway, we'll take a break. You can be a part of our conversation at Twitter or your mails. We'll be back shortly. Please don't go away.